Wow, that was quick. Good evening, Loudly. Well, that's nice of you to drop in and say so. Yeah, well, I don't know how long I'll be here. How long do you reckon you've got? Okay, well, it's nice to have you along anyway. I'm just going to take a look and see what there is in the way of tank sims going on. I can only take a Hurricane in terms of the Brit stuff. Up at 6, wow. That's well early enough. Yes, I can only take a Hurricane. I'm gonna do what I often do here. I won't say usually, but often. And I'll switch to USA, take the P-36, which is a turner. That's a turning aircraft, so I'll give that a go. Just realised I haven't checked track IR to see how well it's centred. Oh, I've just done it. You can't see that, but I've just done it and it's fine. Doesn't look as though there's a lot of people trying to get in on the axis. One just popped in, but we'll see. Okay, looks as though that's not going to be a very quick getting in, so I think I'm going to cancel that and do an EC. I think it's going to be a more medi. Oh, it's gone. I could do Stalingrad. Okay. Right, they're still there. Yeah, I just thought I couldn't get into the other one, but I had the wrong hangars selected, so I can go for Montmedy. And I prefer the nations that are in this. I don't often do ECs nowadays. I tend to do almost exclusively tank sim, but when it's not happening very quickly, I tend to think, well, okay, let's go EC, and I'm going to go from this airfield. There's a push there. I think I'll take the Hurricane. There's also an A point, so should I take the Spit? Yeah, tank sim in my opinion is the best mode, but sometimes it can take a long time to get into. I'm going to go for the Hurricane with rockets to there, the push. Let's give that a go. So you see, look, I have to send to track IR. That's where it's looking at the moment. And that's the beauty of voice attack. I don't have to push any buttons. I'll just tell it to center. Yeah, I did realistic for a long time, but once I'd clicked into the idea of sim, then I was stuck on it, and then tank sim was even better for me. Yeah, the joystick, I agree, would make a difference. What you have to remember, of course, of tank sim, well, sometimes I would forget, is that you start with the engine running, don't you? So if you've accidentally left your throttle forward and you're sort of looking around doing something else, your aircraft is zooming off up the runway without you. Okay. It's been quite a while since I've done this. And rockets can be a little bit inaccurate, let's say. So it'd be interesting to see how I get on hitting ground units.
If we don't do something fast, the enemy will win.
Yeah, I think I said before, I cannot imagine me flying with any degree of success with keyboard and mouse. I just can't. In fact, I wouldn't do it, because the fun for me is a feeling as though I'm actually flying an aircraft. And probably not too many Spit pilots and Hurricane pilots flew by mouse.
Well done. Reloading. On me.
I'm going to go for the tanks that are engaging our ground units.
The enemy is winning. We must counterattack.
Well, that was rubbish. Said I haven't done it for a while, didn't I? Oh, damn it. I've got the howitzer instead of the tank. Damn it, never mind.
The enemy has captured the zone. Attention to the designated grid square. Need backup. Affirmative. Guide on me! Attention to the designated grid square.
Howitzers, they seem to be easier to hit than they used to be. I know it's been a while. It's a while since I've done it, but they seem to be easier to destroy than they were.
Somebody, cover me!
Oh, that one didn't go so easy, did it? Let's try again.
Cover me!
Assuming no one bounces me. I've lost him.
Need cover!
Oh, perhaps someone else hit him. I'm going to the A point. Yeah, I know. Zero viewing. I don't know. It does that, and I think there's no one there. And then someone puts a message on, even though it still shows 0. I don't know. Oh, the A point's just finished. Okay. Yeah, there's a couple of things with YouTube. For me, it's saying 1 watching right now. But the other thing that it does, as I put a message on earlier on, is that people put a message on the chat, and obviously they see it, but it doesn't show it to me. So there can be a number of messages that are there, and I can't see them. And then at some later point I do something that has the effect of refreshing the YouTube screen, and all of a sudden there's a whole raft of stuff that comes in. I see all these messages from people that have put a message on and then got fed up with waiting and gone because I haven't responded because I didn't know the message was there.
Guide on me. Move after me. On me. Affirmative. Attention to the designated grid square. Cover me.
That was rubbish shooting. Oh, in fact, I think that one's been hit anyway. Should have been shooting at it.
Heading to the base.
I think that one's smoking too, yeah. The thing I don't like about EC is that the premium vehicles are allowed, so I'm probably chasing a P47 here unless it's one of those battalion jobs. Okay, he went down, so that's good. Okay, thanks very much, Lonely. Cheers, catch you another time.
We need to put more pressure on the enemy. They're winning. Need cover! On me! Need cover! If we don't do something fast, the enemy will win. The enemy has captured a zone. Cover me! Getting down! Attention to the map. I agree. Attention to the map.
Hello, brother. I'm doing an EC at the moment because tank sim wasn't going in very quickly. So you couldn't get... Oh, that's okay. Right, that's no problem. It's good when you're there, sad when you can't make it, but don't worry, no problems. I think it's time to take up a spit. Yeah, so I'm currently in EC. Yeah, so I'm currently in an EC because the tank sims are taking a while to get into. So, I mean, I might try tank sim again a bit later. At the moment, I'm just repairing and getting refueled, rearmed. Okay, but I'm going to jump from the Hurricane, take up a spit.
Attention to the designated grid square.
I'm going to take up an F Mark 9. It's showing 0 viewers again, but it did that earlier on. Are you still there, Brada? Sometimes it shows 0 when there's actually someone watching.
Follow me.
Ah, jolly good. Well, good luck with that research. I know you're there, and it's currently showing 0 viewers. Isn't that annoying?
The enemy is winning. We must counterattack. Attention to the designated grid square. Roger that.
That looks like a 111 just leaving our airfield after an attack. Yeah, it's annoying when it says there's 0 people watching when there's someone there. I imagine this in front of me is quite possibly a bot. I take that back, I take that back, there are no bots on the other side. Bang, one shot. After that little attack he took one more shot at me and took out my engine. No real surprise. I might be high enough to glide home. Yeah, with my prop feathered, it looks as though I should be able to glide home. Provided no one bounces me. So, at least I won't then lose this aircraft.
After me!
So I've got no engine at the moment, the prop is turning just by the airflow over it.
Leading for landing!
Gear down. Flaps. Looks like I've made it. Yes, I've really messed this up. Luckily I was close enough to the airfield. You need to be either close enough to the airfield or have plenty of altitude so you can glide in. So my aircraft is saved. I can take it up again once it's repaired.
Reloading.
Have you got a joystick, brother? I would honestly highly recommend a joystick if you can grab one. I mean, you can get them for 30 quid or so. I'm saying 30 quid, depends on what part of the world you're in. I suspect, I don't know, Russia or something like that. I'm just guessing. But a joystick, definitely a plus. I use joystick. Oh, it costs too much cost, is that? Yeah, I use joystick, rudder pedals, track IR, and of course voice attack. I wouldn't want to be without any one of those. I'm guessing if you're talking about euros, I'm guessing about in the region of 30 euros. 30 euros, I think, would better get something in terms of a stick, anyway. A stick that I had called the Speedlink, made by Speedlink, Black Widow. That was really good in as much as on the it had integral throttle, so it had a throttle built into the whole unit, and on the throttle just here there was a rocker switch which you could use for rudder, so you didn't really need rudder pedals. It's just less realistic, but you could use that toggle for your rudder. I'm guessing that the dot that's right in front of me right now might be the enemy aircraft. Oh no, it stopped flashing. It's alright, forget that.
Attention to the map.
Call again. Call again.
Need cover. Affirmative.
Oh yeah, well that makes sense, yeah. It's whatever's most useful to you, isn't it? Especially if you're not particularly planning to fly very much, then that would probably be just a waste of money, wouldn't it, to get a joystick if you're not planning to fly very much. Yeah, well, this is it. It's horses for courses, isn't it? So, I mean, tanks definitely don't do it for me any more than jets do. Jets don't do it for me at all. I like the piston aircraft, and obviously, as you may have noticed, specifically the Spitfire, which I always fly given the option. That worked quite well.
Attention to the designated grid zone. Attention to the designated grid square.
Thank you. I suspect that player wasn't very experienced. I suppose I could trim my aircraft a little bit, fly around and take a look and see what he was. I'll do that. I'll just trim out a little bit. Yeah, he's a level 11, as I said. It's probably not much experience.
Follow me. On me.
In terms of track IR that I use, I would say for tanks, I suspect you don't really need it, because you can stop and look around in a tank, can't you? You can't do that in an aeroplane. So yeah, it's probably more important to have track IR if you're flying rather than if you're tanking. And in terms of level 6, well, we're all going to go through level 6, level 1, 2, 3, etc. So that's no problem. And although my level is higher, to be honest, I could have achieved this level just given time. there's an adage that says if you give enough monkeys enough typewriters enough time, they will eventually bash out the entire works of Shakespeare purely by coincidence. Works a bit like that with this, really. If you play for long enough, then you're just going to go up. Oh. Okay, maybe it's time for me to go back to tank sim. Yeah, it was okay. I don't think I lost my aircraft in that game actually, so that was good. I got 2 kills and a number of ground units, so was it 2 or 3? I think it was 2 air kills. Yeah, so that was successful for me. I always feel that tank sim is more what you might call civilized. You don't get the massive furballs of all sorts of aircraft, including premium aircraft. So you might have Japanese aircraft on the Allies side and P-47s on the Axis side. That never feels good to me. Yeah, as do the markers, of course, in EC. When you get close enough, you get the aircraft marker, and of course that probably didn't happen very often in real life. So that's one of the reasons I prefer Tank Sim. Tank Sim is probably about as realistic as it's likely to get in this. Brada, how long are you going to be around for tonight? In the region of half an hour more, or what? Have you seen have you seen any of my streams in DCS? Do you know DCS, and would you like to see it in operation? I'm quite happy to stay in War Thunder if you prefer that. Okay, well DCS is what you might refer to as a true flight sim. War Thunder is a good game, but DCS is a true flight sim. Hold on. So in DCS you have to start the engine, you have to do all the right things to start the engine, and the aircraft flies a lot more realistically, I think, than in War Thunder. As an example, in a Spitfire in DCS, if I put my flaps down, the aircraft sort of drops, the nose drops. In War Thunder, if you put your flaps down when you're approaching the runway, if anything, the nose sometimes violently almost pitches up, and that I think is wrong. So that's wrong about the flight model. What I would do is I come out of War Thunder and go into DCS. Now it might take a couple of minutes to do that, so if you're happy to hang on while I go in, I'll do that, and I'll say that I can't use my push to talk and talk over it, because the push to talk messes up the loading a little bit because it uses the control key. But if you want to put a message on that you need an answer to, I'll watch the messages and I'll type an answer. Is that good with you? Okay, I'm going to exit War Thunder and get into DCS as quickly as I can. Right, I'm in, so I can now go to a mission. This is a mission designed by Laxor, squad mate of mine. He designed this mission, which is just basically a ground attack exercise. It's mostly attacking ground ground units. There are some aircraft, but they don't engage. So I'm going to go into that one, and once again I'll probably have to hold off my push to talk whilst it goes in. Right, I think I'm safe to use my push to talk now. I'm going to just jump out of the aircraft for a second. So there it is. What a beautiful bird. I'm going to jump back in again, and you'll see the pilot looking forward. I look to my right, I jump out again, and the pilot is looking pretty much to the right as I was. So that's a nice little touch. Back into the cockpit. I'll check my control surfaces while I'm at it. The aircraft going up is a refueling jet, so it's like a flying tanker. So I'll talk through my startup procedure that I have to do in a Spitfire. First of all, I'm going to turn on the panel lights. I'll also open the covers that cover the booster button and the starter button, because if I don't open them I can't press the buttons. Right, sorry about that, bit of glitchiness on my finger there. Right, I've also got to put on the fuel pump, which you should hear when I push this switch. It will turn on my fuel pump. It's not very loud, but it's audible. I've also got to open the fuel cock, which will be in the centre of that lever. Right, fuel cock is turned on, and magnetos are on. No, they're not. There's the magnetos. Those two switches at the back did that, and of course I have to set all this up, so it's a bit of a long job initially. Right, so magnetos are on, fuel cock is on, and the prop pitch is fully fine, which is what it needs to be. There's the prop pitch lever. When I change that, it adjusts the RPM. Once I'm running, once I've taken off, I'll probably be about 3,000 revs on the engine. When I adjust the prop pitch, it will move that. I'll move it back to about 2,700. So I'll prime the engine, unlock the primer, then relock it. Now when I start the engine, I've got to push both of these buttons at the same time, which of course I can't do with my mouse. So what I do is I use the home and the delete key on the keyboard to push these two. When the engine turns over and starts to catch, I have to throw the mixture lever forward, which I do with a button at the back here of my throttle unit. So I'll give that a try now. Before I do that, this lever here is the brake lever. I'm going to put the brakes on. Right, now I'm ready to, I've primed the engine, I'm ready to start it. So I'll push control home, home and delete, and then throw that lever forward, the mixture lever forward. Right, engine is running. So what I'll now do is set my altimeter. I'll also, in preparation, put the right amount of nose down for takeoff, which is 1 division of nose down. At the moment it's in nose up, approaching neutral, and about 1 division of nose down. And I will give it an amount of right rudder. That's probably about right. Now I need to taxi, and what I could have done is I could have asked permission to start the engine. I didn't have the radio on at that time. I'll put the radio on, and using voice attack I will call up the menu using the word comms, and then select from those menus using my voice to see what I need to ask for. Oh, hang on, and of course voice attack, what I didn't do is I didn't change voice attack from War Thunder to DCS, so I'm just doing that on the other screen. Right, I'll try calling for my comms command again. There we are. So I'll ask for ground ATC.
Mazda, Chevy 1-1.
So after the event, I'm asking if it's okay to start my engine.
Chevy 1-1. Mazda, clear for start.
I'll now ask if I can taxi to runway.
Mazda, Chevy 1-1. Request taxi to runway.
And I'm just going to go now. Brake off. Before I go any further, I'll explain about how you taxi in this. This is a real Spitfire effectively. I've got toe brakes on my rudder pedals, but the Spitfire didn't have toe brakes. To turn, you have to give a bit of rudder in the direction that you want to go and apply some brake to make it turn in that direction, and likewise if you want to go the other way, turn that way and apply a bit of brake to make it turn. It's really uncomfortable, and of course you need the right engine tick over, probably about 300 RPM, something like that. So I'll start taxiing now. Brake off, bring up the rev, And I'll try to show my rudder pedals, but it's really uncomfortable to do this. It is uncomfortable. I've got to turn right and then left to get onto the runway. But before I get onto the runway fully, I'll ask for permission to take off. It does take a bit of work, yeah. This is very uncomfortable to do. I've been doing it for a while and I still find it quite uncomfortable. I look away briefly and the aircraft is all over the place. Of course I have to look down to try and show you my rudder pedals. I'm going to back off a little bit and try again. The other thing, of course, is that when you apply a brake to make a turn, that braking slows the aircraft down and everything changes again, so it's constantly changing. And I used to be very unsuccessful at taking off, but I'm now fairly comfortable with it and I can normally take off okay and land. As I said, I'll stop before I get to the runway and ask permission. But you see I'm using the rudder and the brake lever and the throttle. Well, you can't see the throttle. Right, I'm going to stop there, call up comms.
Mazda, Chevy 1-1.
I'm going to move on to the runway.
Chevy 1-1. Mazda, you are cleared for takeoff when ready. Climb 300 at QFE 29.38.
Right, fully, when the stop moving, brake fully on. If I was to do that before that, it would probably nose over. I'd break the prop and have to get repaired, which you can do. So, just rechecking. I've got nose down, I've got rudder, flaps are up, which is correct. I now have to throttle up, but first I pull the stick back, full right aileron, so full elevator, full right aileron, and then give it some throttle, dancing on the pedals like this to keep it straight. And then once as it gets going, I'll gradually let the stick go back to its normal position. Once I'm up, I have to bring the gear up, set my prop pitch to give about 2,700 revs, and close the cockpit. So I'm going to go on that now. First of all, brake off. So many times I've forgotten to take a brake off, push my throttle up, nose over straight away. So throttle is off, brake is off. Here we go. Gear up. Missed it. Right, gear is going up. Adjust the prop pitch. Also adjust my trim for some nose up. And close the canopy. Now what usually happens is when I fire my guns I get a bit of a freeze. Now this is because DCS is a bit computer hungry, and for some reason that very first time that I fire my guns it will perhaps freeze up, sometimes to the point where I crash. So I'm going to fire my guns to start with, but first of all I've got to turn on my sight, and on the top of the stick there's a tiny pip which pops up when I make the guns ready. I'm now ready to fire. I'm going to fire a few rounds for nothing just to see if I can prevent the eventual freeze when I'm near the ground. Seemed okay at that time. Let's see what happens when I'm closer to the targets. There's a train on the left, just inside the left hand side of my sight. You can shoot the trains, but it causes a log jam. When a train gets stopped, all the other trains get stuck behind it. You saw there was a bit of a freeze there. I only hit 2 of them, which isn't very good. Now I'll try to take them more individually. I try to line myself up so that I can hit one and then hit the one that's behind it. That worked. On the road, centre of the picture now, well no, centre of the picture now, on the road there's some tankers. So they're tankers that carry fuel, and they make a bigger bang. Beyond them, as I travel towards them, there's a bridge. On the other side of the bridge there are units, fairly deadly units, that will shoot back at me given the opportunity. So I need to brake as soon as I can after I've made my run. That explosion, that's one of the lorries just went up. I got 3 then. Oh, that's okay. Support doesn't worry me. It's good if someone's there. Sometimes it's worse if there's more people watching, because it's difficult to keep up with people and give them some kind of attention. I mean, at the moment it's great because I can talk to just you and I can tell you exactly what I'm doing. And there's not someone else asking other questions and diverting my thoughts, and therefore me crashing because I'm not looking what I'm doing and talking instead. So it doesn't worry me that there's not many people that watch the stream. To me, it wants to be a quality experience, even if it's only for 1 or 2. And I'm not monetized, I'm not interested in getting money on my channel. Yeah, I do this, the flying, because I love it. I stream because I think that other people might get some pleasure from it. And that's it really. There's a line I could go for to get those last 3 trucks down there. Yeah, I'd rather have one person such as yourself to talk to and explain all what I'm doing, and hopefully they'd get pleasure out of it as well, than have 50 people on the stream that I just cannot keep up with. And in a lot of cases they won't all be very interested anyway, they're just there and that's it. Sometimes trolling. I wonder if I can get these 3. Bit unlikely, but I'll try. Might have done it. Yeah, I think it did. Yeah, that got them. Oh, see those tracers coming up at me from the bridge. I've still got some cannon left, I'm sure, but because it's a realistic situation, I don't know, I haven't got a counter, there's nothing telling me that I've got cannon left or not. I've got to try and gauge for myself if I'm likely to have ammo left, and then use it as best I can. I'm going to see if I can hit one of those units that was shooting at me, but they do take quite a bit of hitting. I don't know how much cannon I've got left, but they do need cannon to destroy them. I don't know what's happened, I'm stuck in 3rd person. Oh, I think I know what happened. I think they killed me. They didn't destroy the plane. This is one of the aircraft that I said flies but doesn't engage. So I don't know if I hit or destroyed any of those units, but yeah, I think they killed my pilot, so therefore I had no control over the plane because the pilot was dead. Oh, that's okay, brother, you're most welcome. It's been good fun doing it. I like to do it. I'm going to choose slot 10. I don't know if you're there. I think you probably are. I don't know what's happened with the view there. That's crazy. So I'll just do the start up without the radio, because I know you haven't got much time. And if you want to leave, that's fine. Just let me know when you go, so that I don't end up talking to myself. And I'll just go through my usual start up procedure. Something's happened to my view. I'm stuck on some kind of zoom. I don't know what happened there. That's wrong. That is definitely wrong. I think I might have jump out and come back in again. I've had that before and couldn't get over it, so I'll go back again. Right, normal startup. Okay, it's my mouse wheel that caused that issue. And I've now lost my mouse. Okay, I don't know if I've primed it enough. I'll try giving it a start. No, it stopped reacting. Stopped registering my oh, I think I know why. No, I don't know why it stopped responding to my mouse. Unless of course my mouse battery has died.
Samo ti dobrodošli u moj novi video, ja sam Brad i danas ljudi ću vam pokazati, to je danas ćemo tražiti dokaze o Greninoj familiji po Greninoj kući, kojih ima za sada dva, možda će biti više, možda sam nekog zaboravio, uglavnom dva čvrsta dokaza o Greninoj familiji u Greninoj kući. Tako da, ok, samo da vidimo. Treba mi za ovo ključ, da. Ok, znači idemo se mi odmah baciti ljudi, samo da vidim tu. Nije dobro, znači idemo se odmah baciti na ovo. Prvi dokaz je znači Grenina unuka, Slendrina. Veliki pozdrav svima ljudi, dobrodošli u moj novi video. Danas ljudi odgovaramo na jedno pitanje koje je u prošlom videu imalo stvarno dosta lajkova, a to je sljedeće. Zašto Granny drži svoje ljubimce ili nešto tako, zašto Granny ima svoje ljubimce? Tako da možemo odmah da počnemo sa ovom pričom. Samo prije početka videa, ako nije problem da lajkujete video i da se pretplatite na kanal ako želite još ovakve priče, tako da možemo da počnemo. Znači, Granny je, kao što znate, u svojoj verziji 1.5 ili 1.6 dobila pauka kao njenog prvog ljubimca, kojeg su kasnije promijenili kao onoga sa drugim nogama, koji jede meso od lika koji je bio u kući prije nas, koji nije uspio da pobjegne.
Request rearming. Copy. Arming complete.
Ah, okay, brother. I just realised that it's you that's watching, so and you're just signing off. Okay, thanks for joining me. Thanks for letting me know that you're going, and hope to catch you tomorrow. Good night. I just gave a command that was on the wrong window, and it put it onto the DCS window and wrecked my aircraft. I had intended it to go onto the live dashboard, the YouTube live dashboard window, like this. Hopefully it works. I could repair. It's going to take about 170 seconds as they count it in DCS. So I appreciate that you're off. You're going now. But as I said, thanks for joining me, and hopefully I'll catch you maybe maybe tomorrow. If I'm not after subscriptions, honestly, I'm really not. But if you subscribed, then hit the bell and that'll ensure that you get a notification when I'm streaming. It's still showing one viewing, so I'm not sure if I'm talking to Brada or not. So it could be someone joined after Brada left. So I might as well repair.
Request repair. Copy.
I've just noticed that Brada saying going now by was at 11:17. So I'm guessing the person that's watching now is not Brada. Either way, welcome. So my aircraft will now repair within the next just over 2 minutes, and then I'll have to go through the startup procedure, provided it doesn't crash me again after it's repaired. Sometimes it does. I suppose I could just respawn in, although that'll probably take a bit longer to get to this same point on the runway. A bit longer than 100 seconds maybe. My YouTube viewer count is showing 0, but that's not always true, so if there's someone there, could you just give me a hi to let me know that someone's there?
Samo ti dobrodošli u moj novi video, ja sam Rad i danas ljudi ću vam pokazati, to je danas ćemo tražiti dokaze o Greninoj familiji po Greninoj kući, kojih ima za sada 2, možda će biti i više, možda sam nekog zaboravio. uglavnom 2 čvrsta dokaza o Greninoj familiji u Greninoj kući. Tako da, ok, samo da vidimo. Treba mi za ovo ključ, da. Ok, znači idemo se mi odmah baciti, ljudi, samo da vidim tu. Nije, dobro. Znači idemo se odmah baciti na ovo. Prvi dokaz je znači Grenina unuka, Slendrina, koji je vjerovatno najstariji easter egg